Hey, welcome back to Don't Run with Scissors. I'm Kelly, your favorite Jeep driving lawyer, mom of twins, four crazy rescue dogs, and a rescue cat on cue, who likes to craft in her spare time, is studying to be certified for ASL interpreting, and is trying to train for Ironman. If you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. It sends me a best message. It boosts my serotonin and my self-esteem. And I just feel like we could all use that. And if you are a returning friend, you already know the crazy you're in for. You already know. So grab your drink, sit on back, and let's have at it. Yeah, I I got a boatload of stuff done, not a whole lot of boatload of cross stitching done, and I'm having to come to terms with that and be okay with that because that's life and that's life cycles. Sometimes we have time where we can just sit and cross stitch, and other times we can't. And both of those are okay at different times of the month or different times of life. And so it is what it is. Um, I am still working my way to, and my goal is to be caught back up with WhipGo by the end of this month. I don't think that's going to happen only because my one is to finish the planet sal, and I haven't. But I do have an extra square done. So technically, squares wise, if we're playing around only by like the numbers of squares that should be completed, I should be there. But we'll see. And if I'm not, I'm not. If I'm not, I'm not. I mean, that's just the way life happens. And here we go. What that would mean is about 350 more stitches on the periodic table, a whole lot more on the Monopoly game board, a whole lot more on the planet sale, and about 500 more stitches, basically this section of Bella's Christmas stocking done. In between there, I work on Kay and Dennis. I work on the traditional Quaker. There's a couple other pieces I work on, and just kind of what the mood strikes me. Now, I will say that right now, I am feeling very pulled towards working on my Fruits of Plenty cell from Madame Folk Embroidery. That was one of my 24 and 24 goals. Um, but I haven't pulled it out yet. It's at just over 50% done, and my goal was to finish it this year. So I need to get hustling on that. So it becomes a priority of, am I just looking for 24 finishes, or is it the 24 that I slated to finish? If we're only looking for the 24 just 24 finishes, I'm on good pace to get those. If it's the 24 that I actually wrote down on my list, maybe not so much. Am I okay with that? I don't care anymore. Honestly, this week I just don't care about it. I don't care. It's just 24 finishes, 24 things off my list. Now that would really help my list if I didn't keep starting stuff. I mean, I went through the period where literally, like in a month, I started 6 things. Like, what the heck? Okay, so I have been working hard. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to get done this week. But thankfully, right now, as far as I'm aware, I'm not going to be in court this week. So that's good. I've also had to take care of and help my mom a whole lot more. For those of you who are new here, you know that you may not know, I have a very strange relationship with my mother. It's very strained at times. I'm trying. I'm trying. Um, and so it's been very difficult. I am also learning more about myself and healing, and drawing boundaries. And um, learning how my body responds to her and the stress and things like that. It's been kind of weird. And so I partnered up with a friend of mine to really hold each other accountable. She asked me if I would do this with her, and it's actually very helpful for me. We we each sit down and we figured out our macros. We're only tracking 3 things. Well, 4. We're tracking 4 things: overall calories, our protein, our fats, and our carbs. Beyond that, we're not going to worry about things right now. Those are the only 4 things. And so that's working really well. We both track on our own apps like that we like. That's fine. I'm using my Fitness Pal, so if you want to be my Fitness Pals with me, that would be great. I think I'm his Princess Kelly on my Fitness Pal too. I'm always looking for friends. I don't criticize anybody else's food choices on there, just so you know. That's not my business. That's between you and what you decide to do. If you ask me for advice, great, I will offer it. I have taken lots of nutrition classes. So surprisingly, while it's very easy for me to help somebody else, it is very difficult for me to help my own self. That being said, though, Kat and I have been working on this now for about 2 weeks. And my shorts are already starting to fall off. So this is good. And I guess I'll leave my hand here and block the sun because, of course, all the times that I could have done this today, and this is the one time I do it, and now the sun is coming through the window. I am feeling better. My A1C, I'm on steroids again. They can't figure it out. I have not been to the specialist. So even with the steroids, even with sucking on regular Hall's cough drops all night, because that's what I have to do to sleep right now, even with everything, my blood sugar this morning when I tested for fasting was at 121, which means that without the steroids and stuff, it'd be super low. So that's a little, like, we got to watch that. Right now, I'm not going to worry about it because, again, like, we're in the normal range, all things considered. It's when it starts showing up super low in the morning that we'll tweak some things. I met with my neurologist last week. That went really well. I met with my friend about my taxes and some other things. I'm passing some things off to her that she's willing to do. So that's really exciting. Been using my smartwatch, which is fun to see the data. It really does help me be more aware of some things. 1 second. And I think it's being aware helps you make those changes. So the other thing that Kat and I sat down and did, and I have my goals for the day that I set out, and I review them in the morning, and then I review them at night. And then I have my goals of my stuff that I need to get done. And then look, I'm not technology. Technology and me are not good friends. I wish I could. Okay. So I'm still an old school paper pencil sort of girl. So I'm also so I read this book called The Compounding Effect. It's like a 4.5-hour book on audio. It's really not long at all. And you can actually get the summary version, which is only like an hour and a half, which I think does a really good job too. It's just not like it doesn't give you. So I've referred to this book before and about the questions that I asked a few friends. So one of the things that he says to do is to identify like 1, maybe 2 areas where you really want to focus on making growth and change. And, once you have those down for 3-4 weeks, then add another one kind of thing. Like, don't overwhelm your brain with all this change. Oh my God, it's got to happen. The other thing he said is to keep a gratitude journal. So every night, write down for 30 days to write down 3 good things that happened that day that you observed. It doesn't have to be 3 things that you did. It's 3 things that you noticed in life. And that changes your focus in the way the lens that you're viewing life through, because you're looking for the good. you're looking for the positives. You're not dwelling on the negative. So it shifts that focus. So that was a big one for me. The other thing is, in order to make my financial goals, I need to know where my money is going. And when I met with Renee, my accountant friend, she asked the same thing, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I pay bills, I do stuff, but it's not like. So we are writing down every single dime that goes out of my pocket for the next 30 days. And it's funny because I carry around my little notebook, and I actually use the one from StitchCon. That's how it's related to stitching. Smart, huh? And I write it down, but it makes me think, do I really want to buy this enough to pull out the book and write it down and then have somebody review it in a month? I know that sounds really childish on one level, but for right now it's working. So we're going to keep going with that. So, of course, a lot of mine are food and moving issues and body issues. The other thing on my daily checklist is, did I enter the billing for that day? Was there billing? Did it need to be entered? What's one and then I have another one on here to throw 10 things out. Just 10 things that are laying around the house. Throw them out. It could be that it's trash that needed to get picked up and thrown out. Or it could be, throwing out the extra Amazon box that didn't get taken to the trash the day before. It could be it's 10 things. It's just, again, and then what's one thing to do one thing additional that will help the house get to where I want it to be. It could be as simple as, did I wipe out the sink and counter in the bathroom that needed to be done? Did I make my bed? Did I go through the refrigerator and organize it and make sure that there are healthy foods stocked in there? It's all of those sorts of things. I also have that I want to practice my signing for 10 minutes. It's direct, deliberate practice. It's a minimum of 10 minutes. All of that kind of stuff. It's making sure that I get in my workout. It's making sure that I'm drinking more water. And it's all those little things are going to add up. So we're working on that. So that's a big deal. And so, if you're friends with me on Instagram and you don't see me posting a bike picture, I know it sounds really petty. If you don't see me posting a bike picture in a couple days, Mondays are usually my day off just because I've got class. Usually William works and Bella has class, and sometimes I even have court. So Mondays get a little tricky. So usually I take my Monday as my active rest day. But if you don't see me posting a bike picture, please reach out and go, hey, where's my bike picture? If you don't see, if I haven't posted some fun meal that I've had in the week, go, what are we eating? I mean, ask those things or say, or whatever, or tag me in a picture of something you're doing, because it's one of those things where in the book it talks about the people, and I know that this is way off subject and this is going to be, I guess, a longer video, which I haven't done in a while, but whatever. The people you surround yourself really do impact your mental well-being and how you handle situations. So if you're hanging out with people who are sedentary, who don't have goals, that align with your goals, who aren't doing that things, then maybe you need to look at changing who you're sitting with and the table you're sitting at. And I'm very, very fortunate that I'm surrounded by a lot of really good people. But I am also realizing that depending on who I'm spending more and more time with, my head turns to one way or the other. And it's not always where I want it to go. So I'm going to be very focused on, again, the goals and the mindset of where I want to go. And that may also include me. I have a meeting coming up soon. She's willing to sit down with me for free and mentor. She's like, there is no reason your law firm and by now shouldn't be making $1 million a year. $1 million a year. I'm like, what are you talking? I'm like, I would be happy with $200,000. And she's talking getting it to the $1 million mark in a year. So I am very curious to meeting with her, and she's willing to mentor me for free for now. So, I'm willing to take on that. So it's, again, it may be, I I reached out to my friend who's an Ironman coach, and I said, look, if I do my basic plan, will you just review it and offer some feedback? And I've actually reached out to 3 friends who are all coaches. They have different styles. And I'm like, will you review it? I'm not asking you to write it. I'm just asking you to review it. And all 3 have said yes, which not only supports my goal of Ironman, but also supports my goal of getting my personal trainer certificate. So it's a win-win. So yeah, so we're doing a lot of things. So, and I'm reaching out and I'm asking my friends for help. So if you take the time to watch my show, and especially if you've watched, you're a regular viewer, I do consider you friends. Like that, part of a major reason why I do this is one, to keep track of myself and where I am stitching and to keep goals and accountability. But part of it is because I do, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking to friends. So let's do this, right? Okay, so I did actually do some stitching. I know. Do I have haul? I do. Jessica found it for me on Etsy. She knew I had posted on Facebook a while ago that I was looking for one of these. And once you see it, you'll kind of smile. And I don't know what it was originally. I remember my grandmother has one, but my grandmother's is bigger. And my grandmother used hers for a candy dish. I don't know that this is a candy dish, but it is old milk glass. If you know, you know. Look, it's so beautiful. It's so feminine, which most days is the exact opposite of how I view myself. Thank you for, growing up with trauma. I don't view myself as a very feminine person. And that's one of the things I kind of like to, I want to sort of embrace my girly side. So part of that is having sweet little stuff like this that actually reminds me very much of my friend Tammy, and Tammy has one as well. And so what I'm using it for, it sits on my table, and I put my thread wax in. And if you have not tried Hillbilly Candle Wax Thread Wax, you are so missing out. Oftentimes I have a bobbin, and yes, this is one of those few rare times that I have a bobbin. I usually keep my big bobbin a bobbin of 310, because I use that for almost every single pattern I have. And then all of my little scissors can fit there. So I don't lose my scissors because it goes right there. And to be honest with you, I can loop my charging cord to my phone that sits here, or to my tablet. I can loop it through the other side, like one of the other holes. So it sits there. And I can put little things. So that's my sweet little haul. That's all. I do have some fabric coming because I did decide, it dawned on me, I know what I'm going to do with my scrap fabrics instead of the jars. Now to just execute it, which is always a challenge. Because sometimes the picture looks very different up here than when it comes out on. Okay, so first up is Whip Go Pull for August. And that is my daughter Bella's stocking. And Bella decided she wanted Bella on it, which was more than fine, because that's what we call her that, or Bean, and I can understand her not wanting Bean on her Christmas stocking. So I got her name stitched in, and I got the blue coming in. So my goal to finish the Whip Go square is to finish the blue in this section. I had already done some blue down here, but really and truly, it's to finish the blue in here, which is nice because I don't have to have a pattern with me. I just need one bobbin of floss. Actually, I have it on Flosstube. But I don't have to worry about changing colors. At this point, I don't have to worry about stitch counts. It's brainless stitching. I love me some brainless stitching at times. It is just stitched on plain old 14 count white Aida. Nothing special, but because it's full coverage, that's all it needs. Nothing fancy. This is the crappy picture from my printer as it was running out of ink. So clearly we're up here. So Nothing interesting. It's a lot of blue. It's a lot of blue. And before anybody asks me, yes, I did consider stitching it on blue. However, because it's Ada or whatever, and her Williams stocking is basically full coverage. It's a busilicate. It's pretty much full coverage, really and truly. I didn't want a bunch of holes sticking through on hers and not on his. Like I wanted them to be fairly similar in coverage. So I went with so we're filling it. Okay. Next up okay, heads up. On Facebook next Friday, Tanya is doing a sale for project bags and stuff. She's Needle and Bones. I'll post her down below. She has wonderful project bags. I absolutely love them. And this was a gift. It's just it's so beautifully done. It really and truly is. I mean, it's just she does such a stellar job. So this was my table mate gift from her at StitchCon. So she's having a sale on Facebook on her on Friday. So you have to join her group. So go join her group. Okay. So this is my traditional Quaker FT. I work down here, so I've got it so that I don't have much more to do down here. So that's my goal this next week is to finish the start in here. At which point we'll have 2 out of the 4 pages done, even though and it's all good. It's so pretty. I'm using Threadworks Bradley's balloons on this, and it's just on a cream 18 count Ada, and I absolutely love it. It will be a Christmas gift from my friend Emily, because it will be done. It will be done. It will be done. Did I mention it's going to be done? It's going to be done. Okay. In here is a stitch along that Stephanie and I started and Stephanie finished. It's all good because I love Stephanie's finish. It is the 4th of July Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. My goal was to finish the flower, and I don't know if I set the goal to finish the border down here, the section divider, but I did finish that, and then I started on the next square, which is honor the fallen. Remember and honor the falling. Remember and honor the fallen, which I absolutely love. So I did start that square. So my goal is any stitches on this section is good stitches for this week. Ideally more, but again, we're not going to stress out. Stitching is for fun. Stitching is fun. I don't make money off my stitching. I wish somebody would pay me to stitch, but they don't. So stitching is fun. So when it gets done, it gets done. There are certain ones that have been hanging on longer than others that I'd really like to get done, but whatever. Okay, so my goal, again, anything in this section is great. So those are 2 that I work on each week. The other one that I worked on is my Epic Oz adventure. So I have the Tin Man's leg all the way up to his hip joint. I don't know. I do really love this piece. So my goal this week really is to focus on getting him done, or at least his body and head done. I just feel like we're lingering now, and I don't like that feeling. I'm a little frustrated though because the colors charted don't, even if I had done them in the metallics, aren't matching with the pattern cover. And it's kind of like, what? So this is one I strive to pull out and make huge progress on because this ideally will be a Christmas gift as well. Are we seeing a theme? Are we seeing a theme? So far, yeah. This is for Aaron for Christmas. This is for Emily for Christmas. Do I think being stocking will be done this year for Christmas? No. No, it's not going to be. the goal for the stocking is the year 2050,000. You're new here, and I get it, but my goal for all my stitching is to have a lot of finishes by the year 2050,000 of the Lord and Savior. Okay. I did work on the periodic table. I will, as soon as I'm done with the 1,000 stitches for the square to be crossed off, I will go ahead and post that on Instagram. I'm His Princess Kelly on Instagram. So, the only other stitching I did is I got in about 200 stitches on Kay and Dennis. This is also a goal for Christmas. This is my biggest goal for Christmas. This and the Epic Oz. If I can get those two done this year, plus the little gifts, that will be huge. If I can get any other big project done, like Sal for Space or Modern Folk Embroidery, I would be shocked but thrilled. Especially a Space one, because then I can give it to Bella for Christmas. And if I could finish Monopoly, that would be really cool too, because then I can give that to William. So again, I pulled down the orange wall. I pulled down her face, or her neckline, and the shirt is coming in more. So there we go. There we go. There's really good seeing it. This one takes a lot of effort. Usually I work on this Thursday night with the girls just because I'm sitting here and I can lay out all the flosses, and because it's a lot of color changes. It is a lot of color changes. So, yeah. So that's where we're at. Like I said, I think it's in the mailbox that my fabric that I ordered is coming. And I did order the new cell from Stony Creek. You just pay shipping for it. And it's this little village scene. It's super, super cute. So there was another pattern I wanted that was there from Shepherd's Bush that they had. So those two are on their way. I know how we can tell what I spent, at least in the last 2 days. I could pull out my little book from StitchCon. Ironically, what I mostly spent is gas and groceries and takeout. So that was a big, huge eye opener. Yeah, I ordered the thing from Stony Creek and then groceries, and it's not been too bad. I can put tomorrow on there as well. So that's good. So yeah, that's really it. I'm not very exciting, and that's okay. I don't mind being boring. I will leave the exciting stuff to other people. To me, boring means that I'm healthy. Boring means that I'm doing what I need to be doing. So yeah. So if anybody has any suggestions, if anybody has great ideas, if anybody just wants to check in and be part of the goal team and work on something, let me know. I'm great at being a cheerleader and holding people accountable. I suck at it for myself, but I'm really good at it for others. If you want me to be. I won't be if you don't want me to be, because then I'm just a nag. Nobody likes that. So I think one of the goals I'm going to ask, I have been better about asking the kids for more help and support. I think I'm going to ask probably Bella to tackle my floss drops that are all out of order, so it's hard to like go to them to use as a resource for DMs, like when I'm pulling DMCs. I think, yeah, to handle the spaghetti monster that is up there, the floss monster, that would be really good. Okay. Oh, so here's the other thing. So you'll remember last week that the pumpkin guy from the keepsakes pattern, Tina and I are going to start him together. We're going to start him in October. So if you would like to join us, that gives you time to track down the thing from Keepsakes. Not Keepsakes the store. It's not Keepsakes the store. I put mine in my other room. But then you can get your flosses and your fabrics and stuff together too. It's the Keepsakes calendar, and it's from 2016, maybe. If you need the information, just let me know. I know I showed it last week. September is Sampler September. I am for sure starting my sampler about me. So if you want to work on that project, that's when it's go time. I've got my fabric cut. I've started to pull flosses of my favorite flosses. I have an alphabet ready to go. I have a couple other things. It's all about you. Pull your favorite motifs. If you need something designed, let me know. We'll work on it. So those are two big ones that are coming up. The other thing is, I know a lot of people have done the Naptime Stitchers Stitch the Olympics, which I think is great. And Katie is an amazing person. I met Katie. We sat together at StitchCon and things like that. Katie's great. I did not get my shit together because of for a variety of reasons to stitch the Olympics. And I realized that's okay because my heart really isn't. I do like watching some of the Olympics. Some of it I think is ridiculous. Hello, breakdancing, really, with ping pong, really, we're still playing those in the whatever. Okay, my heart is with the Paralympics, and the Paralympics open on August 24th, and they go through September 5th. I will be stitching the Paralympics. I'm going to follow the same prompts that Katie did. I'm not going to worry about that. I know that the opening day starts after the actual games start being played. That's fine. I'm still going to stitch them the same order. I'm just going to change the dates. So if you'd like to stitch the Paralympics with me, that would be fantastic. I know a couple other friends are going to join me. We're going to use hashtag stitch the Paralympics. And do that. So looking forward to that. So those are the things that are coming up. I'm just going to keep plugging away at projects. I didn't get to work on Bougie Cat. I would really like to work on Bougie Cat. Like I said, there's a couple things I'm being drawn to, but I'm really trying to stay focused on getting things done. As much as I'd like to start a bunch of things, I really do want to start a few things. I'm really trying to stay focused on getting Christmas presents done, getting presents done in general, getting stuff done, getting stuff so that I can clear out stuff too. You may start seeing more sewing from me. I am in the process of moving my work stuff back to my office rather than all over my house, which would clear up a lot of space on my table, which means I could put the sewing machine up more readily. And that will clear out even more stuff and have more great useful stuff. My mom did say in all of the things she was willing to take a sock knitting class with me. So I'm going to look up some sock knitting classes. It's been years since she's knit. And see if we can't go take some sock knitting classes just so I can get a little bit more assured of what I'm doing, because I'm just feeling a little, and I have a feeling it's one of those, like, once I get the basics down and I'm really assured, especially of the heel, I'm going to be good to go. I did figure out the Fair Isle stitching thing thanks to some wonderful tutorials that people shared with me when I was doing that. Jessica's was a lifesaver. So that way that next summer I can do sock camp with Jessica because it's virtual. And I know she said I could still join, but I just feel like the summer is almost over and I have the yarn. God knows I have the yarn. I'm ready to go and knit like 50,000 million pairs of socks. I just feel like I need to get some more done and settled before I can add that to my plate. So with that, I'm done. I know. And the sun is now adjusted for the lighting. Yes, welcome to my world. The weather is starting to be good enough where I can paint. If you know, you know. So remember, you are smart and you are beautiful. You are amazing. You are cherished. You are loved. You are needed and you are wanted. You are brave and you matter. With that, I'll send you guys out there. Be kind to each other. Do good. Be good. And understand you are good. So we'll talk later. If you need me, you know where to find me.